Hey everybody, and Happy New Year. It's that time where we look back at the previous year and give our top 10 list. So I thought I would give you a top 10 list of my favorite cars that I drove in 2018. Now there might be a better list of the most exotic cars, but these are actual vehicles that I drove, and these are vehicles that fit for the most part in the mainstream cars that people actually buy, and SUVs of course. So I'm going to go through the list from 10 to number 1. I thought I'd do it alphabetically, but I did kind of rank them. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you probably got a pretty good guess as to what my number 1 is. Yeah, I think there's lots in here for all different tastes and even different budgets. So let's get into it. At number 10, it's the all-new Ram 1500. Now, I went to the launch event in, where was it, Arizona. And I got to say that I always liked the Ram 1500 because it had such a beautiful interior, nicely styled, smooth and comfortable and quiet. And in fact, I would place the Ram in quietness at the very, very top. And this new version is just so much better. It's larger. They added 4 inches to the crew cab in the back. They made it 100 kilos lighter, which is about 250 pounds lighter. Even though it's bigger, it's lighter. It has new technology with the engines called e-torque. They use the 48-volt system to give instantaneous e-torque for launching the vehicle out of the pocket. It has 10% greater fuel economy than the previous truck and 20% better payload and towing capacity. But for me, and a lot of people are buying trucks as their primary mode of transportation, it's the inside. And I think that Ram just absolutely nailed it. You can get the optional 12-inch Uconnect screen. Most people will get the 8.4-inch screen, and now even on the base model they have a 5-inch screen with their Uconnect system, which is very easy to use. So Ram 1500 makes the top 10 list at number 10, and it's a beautiful truck. Next up is a vehicle I got a chance to drive over a year ago in Crete in Greece. And it makes my top 10 list because first of all, it's a Porsche, and second of all, I love this product. In fact, I'm on my second Porsche Cayenne. So the all-new Porsche Cayenne makes my top 10 list at number 9. So Porsche has made this vehicle just a little bit bigger. They've stuck with the success of the brand, and this product has been an amazing seller for Porsche. They kept the look similar, except for around the back, you notice a different tail light. Some say it looks kind of like Lincoln's treatment on their tail lights. I'm not going to disagree with you, but yeah, it certainly has a similar look to that. The body, it's when you see them together, the new one you can certainly see is longer. Bigger wheels. The wheels are now staggered, meaning the wheels at the back are actually wider than the wheels at the front to give you better on-road dynamics. The big news, though, is the base engine now has 335 horsepower. The old VR6 engine has been retired with 300 horsepower. It's now 335 horsepower, 340 for the European marketplace. 8-speed automatic transmission, and this is the vehicle that most people buy. Yes, there are S's and turbos and turbo S's in the Cayenne line, but by far the biggest seller is the base model, and because it's expensive. In the Canadian market here, it starts at $75,000. Now granted, you now get standard LED headlamps, you now get standard forward collision warning with autonomous braking, you now get standard 19-inch wheels and other things. So yeah, they've equipped it better, and they've actually put the price up. So this is a beautiful product. The other showcase for this is the beautiful 12.3-inch screen that's in the center of the dashboard. I'm a bit mixed on this. I love the big screen. It certainly looks great. However, below that is the touch-sensitive glass panels that, in my opinion, will be fingerprint and dust magnets. But if you look at the vehicle overall as a whole, it has everything you would expect from Porsche. Beautiful build quality, beautiful interior, great ride, and they just took it up to a new level. So number 9 goes to Porsche Cayenne. Now, this is a vehicle, the next one, number 8, is one I thought I might put much higher, meaning closer to number 1. And the only reason I didn't put it closer to number 1 is because it's actually an older product, but with new technology. So I'll explain it. When I mention the vehicle, you'll kind of understand what I mean. So at number 8 is the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, or their plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So this is, for me, a real technical showcase for people that want to have a vehicle that is electrified, can drive for most of your commute under just electric power, but also have the range of having a plug-in hybrid, meaning it switches back and forth between gas and electricity when the electricity is depleted. This is a vehicle that is the best seller in the world, and there's a good reason for it. So people are maybe looking towards getting an electrified vehicle of some kind, but if you start looking at pure battery electric vehicles, at this price point, so this starts in the low 40,000 range here in Canada, you get a front-wheel drive, subcompact, it's supposed to be utility vehicle, but really it's just a small subcompact car. I'm thinking the Hyundai Kona. They announced the price at $45,000 in the Canadian marketplace. Yes, it's got 400 kilometers of pure electric range, but it really is just a subcompact hatchback with front-wheel drive. The PHEV from Mitsubishi is a real compact crossover vehicle with seating for 5. In fact, the interior is exactly the same as the regular gasoline Outlander. It has plenty of room for your cargo. It's got plenty of room for your people. It's the right size. It's the size of vehicle that people are buying. It is electrified, and the other thing is, and it's a big one, it comes with all-wheel drive, where a lot of those vehicles in that price point, if you look at the e-Golf, the Hyundai Kona, the Bolt, and so on, they're front-wheel drive only. You get all-wheel drive with the PHEV. So the technology really, really does work. It drives very nicely. However, it's in an older platform, older body, older interior. If it was a new vehicle with a new body, new interior, it would score much higher. But this thing has been selling incredibly well in the Canadian marketplace. Considering what it is, plug-in hybrid, it's I think over 6,000 units sold in Canada since it's come out. So it's doing quite well. Another SUV on the list at number 7. And this one, in fact, in my title on the video when I put it up, was a nice surprise. And it is a nice surprise. Everybody's moving towards utility vehicles. One brand that is doing exceptionally well over the last 5 to 10 years, because they built their whole brand around all-wheel drive, is Subaru. And the new Subaru Ascent, the 3-row utility, was a very nice surprise, and it is number 7 on my list of top 10 from 2018. They did a lot of research with this utility. It has plenty of room on the inside for all 3 passengers. It's got a great starting price of $36,000 in the Canadian marketplace, and it's not a crappy equipment car. It's actually fairly nicely equipped for that kind of price range. Now you can get higher trim. Subaru, of course, has their EyeSight advanced safety system, but the big star for me was under the hood, the new 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and the CVT that it's matched to actually does a very, very good job. So Subaru, they did their homework, they followed what everybody else was doing in the marketplace, and they made it in their own Subaru way, and it's a really nice product at number 7. Now, the next vehicle is the original SUV, the Jeep Wrangler. It's been around for many, many decades, and this product, with the latest, newest, all-new Jeep Wrangler, is a massive, and I mean a massive step forward from the previous version. So you have the old Wrangler and the new one in every way. It's smoother, it's quieter, it's more refined, it's got a nicer interior. It looks like a Jeep Wrangler, so it looks very similar to the outgoing one. One big thing is they upgraded the headlamps. The old Jeep, the headlamps were terrible. Now you get LEDs available. It really does make a big, big difference. The interior is much more comfortable, and you can get 3 different engine choices. They're going to have a cloth roof that's fully automatic coming out in this product. Now, before you start hammering away in the comments section, yes, they did the crash test in Europe and it got a 1-star. And a lot has been made about that. Now, you have to keep in mind, the new crash tests are including all kinds of things that weren't in vehicles not that long ago. So does the vehicle have forward collision warning with autonomous braking? Does it have lane keep assist? Does it have all kinds of new advanced safety features? Then you start looking at things like side and curtain airbags. Now, let's just call this what it is. It's a Jeep. It is designed to go off-road. You can take the doors off. You can take the roof off. You can use it that way if you please. Some enthusiasts will. Most people will drive it just as an everyday commuter. So Jeep is kind of in a tough spot here because the vehicle is designed to go off-road. It's off-road ready. You can't even get Rubicon versions of this. So I'm mixed on this, that it didn't do as well in crash tests, but it's a Jeep. It's meant to be used in a different way than pretty much every other vehicle on the road. So I give it a bit of a pass for that. They could include forward collision warning and autonomous braking. I think that would be a nice thing for them to add. But anyway, a huge improvement with Jeep. We still haven't heard about the diesel and if that's going to be coming, so we'll have to wait and see. So Jeep Wrangler, number 6 on my list. Massive improvement. Number 5. A little Scandinavian luxury. Number 5 goes to the Volvo XC40. Now, one of the hottest segments in the auto industry is the smaller than compact utility, the subcompact utility. And this is true whether it's a mainline car or it's a premium car. And if I was shopping for one of these new smaller vehicles of import sort of luxury products, the Q3 would certainly be one to consider. The new one, it isn't here yet, and I did get a chance to drive that. But the Volvo XC40, in my opinion, absolutely nails what a lot of the other brands are missing. And that is the way the interior is designed makes it so functional that I wonder why anybody would go and buy the XC60, because they carved out every nook and cranny in this XC40 to make it so useful and so practical for a family that it would be the one that I would get. And if I wasn't going to get the XC40, I'd go up to the big 3-row XC90. But the XC40 on the inside, they absolutely nailed it. Plus, I think the styling on the outside is good. The turbocharged engine does a great job. So Volvo is on a roll with their new products, and I think that it's a good product. By the way, Max just put out a cross-country video on this new V90. All right, then we get into the next vehicles on the list, and we'll go with the Hyundai Kona. The Hyundai Kona is in that new smaller set of vehicles, okay? The subcompact utility. By the way, this is the fastest growing segment in the auto industry. We know utilities are fast growing, but the Kona, the new subcompact segment, is the fastest growing worldwide. And they absolutely did a fantastic job with this new product. They deliver on the sort of Hyundai promise, which is to overachieve, basically, giving you more content, more of what people are looking for. I think it's a nice looking vehicle on the outside. It's got that rugged, classic sort of utility look with a different kind of twist. They make it available with fun and funky colors. You can get it with just front wheel drive. You can get it with all wheel drive. You can get it with the base model with torsion beam rear suspension, and then the rest are all available with independent rear suspension. This was the one thing that really surprised me about this, is how well this Hyundai Kona handles. It's actually a nice handling vehicle. Hyundai and Kia certainly have come up with great looking interiors that are functional. They were so early to adopt Apple and Android in their head units, and they've gotten much better scores than many other brands because of it. So that is a vehicle I certainly would recommend. So the Hyundai Kona at number 4 is the fastest selling new vehicle launch in the Canadian marketplace, which is where I live. So they introduced it, and it's been the fastest selling all new nameplate, so good for them. Then we go to another Korean brand. Now, you want to say Hyundai Genesis, but it's not. It's just Genesis, and the car is the G70. That's the number 3 spot. So this is a car that they've struggled to launch in the United States, but it was launched in Canada, I think it was in May or June, basically the spring here. And everybody that's driven it, it puts a big smile on your face. It's a car that is right up against the meat of the compact sports sedan space. Audi A4, Mercedes C-Class, the BMW 3 Series, which has been the king for many, many years. This car, if you get the 3.3-liter turbocharged engine, is an absolute blast to drive. It starts around $42,000 in the Canadian market and goes to 57. And when you start lining it up with those German import brands and you start looking at the equipment, the power, and then you add in all of the features, it looks like a relative bargain. Now, Genesis is a new luxury brand. It's the premium version over Hyundai. And some people might be a little bit reluctant to actually jump in and get a Genesis based on the brand. But I got to tell you, when you jump in and you drive this car, it handles well, it looks great, it's got a beautiful interior, and it is a bit of a wow factor. My number 2 pick is another SUV. You know what, if you'd gone back 10 years ago and told me that half of the vehicles that I would choose, or more than half of my vehicles I would choose would be trucks or SUVs in my top 10, I would never have believed it. But yeah, the majority of the vehicles I'm talking about today are utility vehicles. And number 2 is no different. If you are shopping in the premium compact utility space, the best overall value, in my opinion, is the Acura RDX. Now, Acura already had a compelling package with the old model. It was a tried and true V6 with a 6-speed automatic. Well, they threw all of that out, and they came to market with a brand new RDX, and they put back into the RDX super handling all-wheel drive. They put in a turbocharged 4-cylinder like everybody else in the industry, but they are offering more power than the majority of the competition, a 10-speed automatic transmission, dynamic-looking styling on the outside, beautifully finished with great-looking materials on the inside. Now, it's not exactly perfect. I don't like the big dial in the middle of the dash. It's a styling thing, you know, take it or leave it. That wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Some people are having trouble with the trackpad infotainment system, but I find with all of these things, if you own the car for a few weeks, it all becomes second nature. So I'm not going to knock it because of that. But I think with the new turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, the new 10-speed automatic, the size of the RDX comes standard with a panoramic roof here in the Canadian marketplace. I think that they absolutely nailed it. They always have had a great price point. The price has gone up with this new model, but when you look at it in its entirety of what you get, I still think if you're looking for a premium compact utility at that price, under $50,000, that is the one that I would choose. Acura RDX number 2. All right, my number 1. Now this is a year that I will remember because this isn't just my number 1 car of 2018. This is my number 1 car that I have ever driven. And I've driven a lot of cars. But for those that follow this channel, you know I love Porsche. I've owned, I'm on my 4th one now. I owned 2 Carreras in the past. I just love the brand. I love the 911 because it offers the best of everything. You get, you know, a 4-seater. Mind you, the back seats are small. You get a big trunk in the front. You get the durability and reliability of the Porsche brand, but cars that can also be driven hard and then driven home. It's just amazing what they're able to do with the 911. And the vehicle that is my number 1 choice is the 911 GT3 Touring. This was a trip that I did to Munich. Got to drive the GT3 Touring around on some beautiful country roads and absolutely fell in love with this car because it is naturally aspirated, 4-liter with 500 horsepower, and it has a manual transmission if you want it. It's only available in the manual if you get the Touring package. If you get the regular one with the big wing, it comes with the PDK if you choose. For me, I would love this as my weekend toy, and I would get it with the Touring package, which removes the big spoiler on the back. I just love this sleek and elegant look of this car, a fun toy. And the thing is, the car revs to 9,000 RPM. So here's a little clip of that video, my number 1 car of the year and my number 1 car of all time. Fantastic. Listen to that engine. A red line of 9,000 RPM. Oh, man. Woo! I could get used to that every day. Imagine waking up in the morning, opening your garage, and this is your everyday car. She's talking to me on the Navi. And this is your everyday car? Man, that would be something. The engine is just the elixir to a bad day. You're having a bad day, you get in this car, you're having a great day. A 500 horsepower car that doesn't scream supercar, to me, is the ultimate sleeper. This is the sleeper 911, and I would never, ever get tired of that. I love you. I want you. Come home with me. So there you go, the top 10 list. What do you think of that? And what would you put in there? What would you leave out? I tried to pick cars that, you know, a lot of people would actually buy and could afford. Let me just go through them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think eight of them were SUVs or trucks. How crazy is that? That's how far we've come in the industry with just a couple of cars. So there you go. That's my top 10 list. Hope you liked it, and keep watching.